Every atom in your body heavier than hydrogen was cooked inside a star that died before the sun was born. Look at your hand. The calcium in the bone, the iron in your blood, the oxygen you're breathing right now. Not one of those atoms existed when the universe began. Everyone was forged inside a star that died before the sun was born. Rewind to the very beginning. For a few minutes after the Big Bang, the whole universe was a furnace hot enough to fuse atoms. But it only made the two lightest ones, hydrogen and helium, and then it cooled, and the furnace switched off. So here's the puzzle. If the beginning made only hydrogen and helium, where did the other 90 elements, the stuff you're made of, come from? Building anything heavier hit a wall. Add 1 or 2 more particles to helium and nothing stable exists there. Keep that question in mind. First, we had to learn what stars are even made of. In 1925, a young astronomer named Cecilia Payne read Starlight and found the answer. Stars are almost entirely hydrogen. She was told it was impossible, but she was right. The fuel of the cosmos is the lightest gas there is. Decades later, Fred Hoyle asked how stars turn that hydrogen into carbon, the carbon in every cell of you. The reaction seemed far too slow to work, so Hoyle made a bold bet. Carbon must have a hidden trick, and because we exist, it had to be true. A lab looked and found it. Inside a massive star, 2 giants are locked in a standoff. Gravity crushes inward. The heat of fusion pushes back out. As long as fusion keeps paying out energy, the star holds itself up. Watch what it burns. Deep in the core, 4 hydrogen nuclei fuse into 1 helium. But the helium weighs a little less than the 4 that made it. That missing mass turns straight into energy. And that energy is starlight. When the hydrogen runs low, the core shrinks and heats until helium itself ignites. 3 helium nuclei must slam together in a split second to make 1 carbon. That's the trick Hoyle predicted, and it's why carbon and you exist. Now the ladder climbs. Carbon fuses to neon, neon to oxygen, oxygen to silicon, each step hotter than the one before. The star builds itself into an onion, every layer burning a heavier fuel than the layer outside it. And each fuel burns faster than the last. Hydrogen lasts millions of years. But near the end, the star burns through its silicon in about a single day. The furnace is racing towards something. At the very center, a core of iron is growing. The fire has burned everything up to it. So what do you think happens when the star tries to burn the iron itself? Take a guess. Here's the twist. Up to iron, fusing atoms releases energy. But iron is the most tightly bound nucleus there is. To fuse iron, the star would have to spend energy, not gain it. Iron is the ash that puts the fire out. With fusion switched off, nothing holds the core up. Once it passes about 1.4 times the sun's mass, gravity wins. In less than a second, the core collapses, falling inward at nearly 1/4 of the speed of light. The core crushes into a ball of pure neutrons and rebounds. A shock wave, driven by a flood of ghostly particles called neutrinos, tears the star apart. For a few days, it outshines an entire galaxy and blasts everything it ever cooked out into space. But the heaviest atoms need even more violence. In the blast, and when the dead cores of old stars later collide, neutrons pile onto nuclei in seconds. That is how gold and platinum are made. In 2017, we finally watched two neutron stars merge and saw the gold pour out. So here is the answer to our question. This is every element colored by where it was born. The oxygen you breathe, the carbon in your cells, the calcium in your bones, the iron in your blood, all of it forged inside stars. The explosions seeded a cloud of gas. 4.5 billion years ago, that cloud collapsed into the sun, the earth, and eventually into you. Almost all of your body, every atom but the hydrogen, was made inside a star. You are the debris. Let's hold on to three things. The Big Bang made only the lightest gases. Stars fused them up the ladder but stopped at iron. And their deaths forged everything else, including you. You are, quite literally, stardust. The universe's way of remembering the stars that died to make you. And knowing where your atoms come from leaves one last question for the sky. With stars stretching out forever, why is the night between them dark? Thank you for watching. Our small team works tremendously hard on every one of these animations. Following, subscribing, and sharing is what keeps Baucis alive. There is a new video every day. See you tomorrow.